YouTube faithful, what's going on? How about yesterday, right? Mega chalk. We went from full sweep on Tuesday, minus the tacos, to full chalk on Wednesday. And that, my brothers and sisters in Christ, is sports betting via Pick'em Apps 101. You gotta love it, but you gotta hate it sometimes. You gotta dust it off, and bounce back, and let's crush today. That being said, it's gonna be a quick video. It looks like they gave us some LeBron discount. I don't even know what this is, but it's here, and we will probably take advantage of it. But my advice to you is to just find your favorite Gabby and go for a 2x and just max that puppy out, because my brothers and sisters in Christ, this month just ain't been it, man. It's been poverty for everyone. When you see guys, the Twitter clowns, I won't say names, whenever the big fish win, the sharps lose. That's just how it is, because they're doing things that aren't optimal, and when that happens, it's gonna be a disaster class for the sharps. It happened. But what I want to discuss for this particular video, bang, is the fantasy scores. Let's get some fantasy score action up in this mug, because we got some good games today, don't we? Well, on paper we do. Let's go over here to Outlier, and you can see this French game going on right now. Look at this point total, and my sick self took an under in one of it. I won't even say what it is unless it hits. Tomorrow we'll talk about it, but I have unders in that game. Can you imagine that? We got the Blazers versus the Magic, 211, 8.5. We got the Heat Bucks, 6.5 rivalry game, 225 total, a little more heavy than I would imagine. We got the Raptors Hawks, the game that could feed a family, 5.5 point spread, 236.5 point total. Then we got my own Oklahoma Thunder, baby, facing the ones that knocked us out of the playoffs last season. We're gonna rip them apart. We're at home, and it's hitting. I don't think we're losing that game. Oklahoma money line. Book it. Minus 750, put 1,000 on it one time. I'm kidding. Don't do that. Folks, you never want to bet the heavy favorite in a money line situation. Even if it's a smash bet like that, just don't. There's no value there. Miss it. If anything, I'd be taking Dallas plus 12.5. Okay? Forget all that. Kings Nuggets, a game that could feed your generation to come. It could feed your mother's mother and your daughter's daughter. 241.5 point total. We're going to talk about that one for show. We got the Lakers Boston, a season generational long rivalry that nobody has ever seen before. It's East versus West. What are we getting? I'll tell you what we're getting. I'm going to spoil it for you right now. We're getting poverty, because nobody's going off in that game probably. And then we get the Bulls and the Warriors, and I'm going to slay Curry like none other. How about Curry last night selling the bag? All Curry had to do was get his PRA, and I would have been $500 richer. But you know what? He couldn't get it done. He sold my perfect 4 of 4. He sold my 2 of 2. He sold my 3 of 3. He sold it all, and I will never forgive him for that. I'm just kidding. I already forgot about it. I'll probably go right back to him tonight, baby. But the fact of the matter that he only had 12 points in the half, and then he only ended up getting like 2 or 4 more, is poverty. The man ain't himself, and I don't know what's going on. Whenever I take his points, he gets RA. When I take his RA, he gets points. He's a sell job. He's a freaking sell job. And tonight, I promise you, if I fade him, he's going yard. If I lock in on him, he's probably going to sell. So I don't know what I'm going to do there yet. And then you got the late night hammer, the Clippers Wizards. Probably a full fade, because look at the spread, and we got other situations here. So without further ado, let's get crispy. Yay! Now, the first person that I'm talking about today is none other than Scottie Barnes, because his upside and usage is just so freaking big. Look at him. 7.5 rebounds, minus 130. RA, 14.5, minus 135 across. Scottie Barnes points under, minus 120. Okay, under 7 assists fantasy. He was at 43 earlier. What are we going to do here? When it comes to Scottie Barnes, you got options. His PRA was 34 earlier. Now it's all the way up to 35. They got his steals. This is just like the other day when we swept. He's got his fantasy score. It's always in play. I do think it's a little high at 44, but it's still in play. His 1.5 steals, absolutely in the mix, man. We just took this the other day and it soared. Now he's playing the Hawks. We know Trae Young throws the ball away. That's a very good play. Pace up spot. Trae Young turns the ball over. I think his steals are in the mix, and his RA is always in the mix. But what I'm going to do right now is go to the fantasy point per minute tool that I have. It's posted in the cord right now, but instead of just getting the usage rate fantasy point per minute stuff, I actually give you a projection of what their fantasy point is projected to get here today based off my projection model. Yesterday, they used it in the Discord and they went 5 of 6. They had Sabonis under as the last leg. He went over by a couple. It is what it is. 5 of 6 is still very, very good. Congratulations to those that use the tool to their advantage each and every day. 34 minutes average over 30 games, 26% usage rate, that's high, 1.24 fantasy point per minute. Last three, 49, 43, 42, averaging 43 fantasy points per minute. You can see when I made this sheet, his line was at 43. They bumped it up a full point. So let's go to the calculator and take 1.24, multiply it times 34, that's his average, and you get 42.16. That's his average, chat. So now you have to factor in the fact that he's playing the Hawks, and then you can probably bump him up to another 2 minutes because it's going to be a fast-paced game. So he's going to land right around that 44 mark, which is why it's close. And then if we look at the projections and we go down here to Toronto, you can see he's projected to not get 20 points, 19.8, 7.5 rebounds, and 6 assists, 1.7 steals, okay? 1.7 steals, roughly 6 assists and 7.5 rebounds, which makes his RA in play. Because remember, I told you guys, you're never going to get an algorithmic approach to put it at 15. It's too high. But his fantasy scores in the mix, his rebounds at, where is it at 7.5 are in play. And then as crazy as this is, I think you could take a shot on less than 20.5 points. Now that is going to be sweaty. Make no mistake that that's going to be sweaty, but I do have him going for 19. If he stays at 19, great, it's cash. But that's my read on Scottie, okay? Plus his steals, he's projected for 1.7. You could go there. I wasn't going to load Outlier, but we do have some time, so you can see they're 25th in steals allowed overall, and then against small forwards, they're 26th. Head-to-head, he got 3 last time they played, which was this year, which is what we care about most. His last 20, he's gotten 11 of 20, last 10, 7 of 10, 1.5 steals. His RA, where is it at? You can see it's a good matchup. Last time he played, he had 13. Okay, it was more close, and then that's last season. We don't care. It's going to be close either way. Where's just the rebound? Just the rebound. 7 of his last 10. He got there head-to-head. So that would be the order. Steals, rebounds, and then fantasy, and then last would be RA. And then if you want to be contrarian, you take less in 20.5 points, you take less on. Okay, I think that's actually pretty good. He hasn't hit 21 points in 13 of his last 20, 6 of his last 10, and head-to-head, he didn't get it last time. He got 19, and that was when he played 35 minutes. So those are all my reads on Scottie Barnes. What you do with it's up to you. For the sake of this video, we'll do rebounds there. Okay, we'll do rebounds there. Next, remember, there is a lot of places to go today, guys. You could go in so many different places. Tumani Kamara's fantasy score is kind of looking at me sideways. I'm not sure if I'm going to go there. I talked about Jalen Johnson the other day. I don't remember if it made the second cut. Dyson Daniels, one of these Hawks would be optimal to run it back with. Now, Trae Young just had a disaster class game versus Detroit. He didn't have that great of a game versus New York Knicks. You know Trae Young's due a big game. And if I was going to take Trae Young, it would probably be his blocks and steals as well. Again, it's going to be a fast-paced game. You know that the guys on Toronto turn the ball over. Heck, Scottie Barnes turns it over a lot. So his 1.5 blocks and steals are in the mix. You can see here I have him projected for 1.5 steals and like basically no blocks. So it's going to be close. It's not an anchor play. I'm just giving you options. Remember, we want to have a 1v1 stack from that game, which is a same game parlay. We try to find the 1v1 optimals and then build our 4-man like that, or a 6-man, 1v1 here, 1v1 there, 1v1 there. That, my friends, is what we're trying to do. It may not be Trae Young. It may be Jalen Johnson. It may be Dyson Daniels. It may be Okongwu. I mean, one of these guys is going to get there, okay? It's early. I'll have more time to process it, but honestly, it's probably just going to be Trae Young in some capacity if I go there. Look, his fantasy score. Look, his blocks and steals. I mean, there's not much there. Definitely don't want to be taking any unders there, but that would be that. And it's not required. You don't have to run it back with somebody. That's just an option for you. And then the next person I want to talk about is the same guy I took yesterday, Malik Monk. He's just doing too much. I will not get off Malik Monk. Pause. We're talking about basketball. We're good to go. But I'm not fading Malik Monk until he gives me a reason. Look at this little wagon. He's just a wagon. 33, 28, 38, 35, 33. Guys, I got no reason not to take Malik Monk. His fantasy score I got at 33. It's now all the way up to 35. Are you kidding me? His fantasy score was at 33 when it opened on PrizePicks. It's now at 35. Even Parlay Play has him at 35. I was hoping they would have a little bit different, but they don't. Even they're on top of it, so that is what it is. By the way, don't forget to check out Parlay Play, code CRUSH. It's there. Get your first deposit. Send me the email. I just sent out 2 free trials today. The rest are on the way. Links in the description. But let's check out Malik Monk's fantasy point per minute and stuff, shall we? Okay, again, this tool that I'm using, I have it live in the Discord and I give you an actual projection. 31 minutes average, 35 games played, 23% usage rate. He's averaging 1.06 fantasy points per minute. 47, 36, 44. He's averaging 1.06 in only 31 minutes. That's crazy. So let's just say he plays 32 minutes tonight. 32 times 1.06, you get 33.92. His fantasy score is high for a reason. Okay, you can see his blocks and steals at 1.5 because he's a block and steal wagon. Now you'd be like, Cap, are we taking blocks and steals for all these guys? Well, if you want to, I won't begrudge you a bit, but you can see here Malik Monk, all of his lines are on the over juiced. He's in a good matchup. Again, Denver is a good matchup. I don't care. 28 points, rebounds, assists. The only reason I'm not taking his fantasy score right now at 35 is I'll let the viewer decide because I got him at 33.5 this morning. Okay, that's a significant bump. Maybe he comes back down and I can attack it later. But look at these 1.5 blocks and steals. These are 3 points a pop. Head to head, last time he played, he had 4 of those guys. In the last 10, 6 of 10. Last 20, 10 of 20. Okay, his PRA, head to head, cooked him last time with a 41 burger. What? I said a 41 burger. Look at the matchup. This ain't your mama's Denver Nuggets. Versus shooting guard, 25th, 28 assists allowed, rebounds 8. Who gives a crud? The man gets points and he gets assists. His PRA, he's literally gone over in 13 of 20, 9 of 10. He's just been on the next level, and I, my friend, am gonna ride this train until I get forced off of it. So Malik Monk, you just made the list, point blank. I got him projected for 18 points, 3 rebounds, and 5.7 assists with 1.5 steals and half a block. So virtually 2. It's gonna be right on the nose with his PRA, but I do like the push equity. I think it's solid. You can take an alternate line over there on Underdog or Parlay Play or even Chalkboard. All those links are in the description. Get your free coin. Get your tail in my Discord. I mean, it's all up for grabs. And then the next person I want to talk about is PJ Washington, baby. His fantasy score cap, maybe his rebounds, maybe his points, rebounds. Now, historically, he cooks my Thunder. That's why I'm trying to figure out which one of these guys to take. And PJ Washington right now is the guy getting the nod. My model, my fantasy point model had him soaring over by like 4 points, which is crazy. I didn't agree with it. I don't agree with it, but I have to trust it at some point. If we look at his fantasy score for PrizePicks, you can see he's gone over in 7 of his last 10, 9 of his last 20, head to head, 6 of 11. Now these were playoff games, but the trend here is that he just cooks Oklahoma. 33, 52 on November 17th, a dud here, 28, 35, 37, 55 for the playoffs last season to send us home, unfortunately. And then his points, rebounds are also in the mix. 23, 44, 33, last 20, 8 of 20, last 10, 6 of 10. Now, Oklahoma Thunder, we are missing our bigs, so it's going to give opportunity. Gafford or Washington, one of those guys could and should get it done. I think Gafford's lines possibly are a little bit too high, but Washington is just going to be more consistent in my opinion. But you can even see here, his rebounds is his best line, followed by his PRA and his fantasy score. But his rebounds are solid. They always are, guys. His rebounds are always solid. He's projecting for 7.8. His line is 7.5, so it's going to be close to 8. If we look at his fantasy point per minute, let's take a look. PJ Washington, 18% usage rate, 0.94 fantasy point per minute in 32 minutes. So that's pretty easy. 0.92 times 34, 0.92 times 34. What say you, chat? 31. We're getting over, like, that's what I'm saying. And I know the Thunder are the best defense. Trust me, I'm an OKC diehard. But, you know, look at, they're on a back-to-back. I'm just going to go with it. And if he sells, he sells. I'm not, like, making my day depend on PJ Washington, but he's for sure going in the mix. Either one of these is fine. The last 5 Kings are loving life or they're hating life, but that's it. Those are my 3 that I like the best. Barnes, Monk, Washington. I gave you multiple options for any of those 3. And then there's a bunch of other plays you can round it out with at your own discretion. I advise you to use the fantasy point per minute tool in the projection sheets that I provide in the Discord. Attend the live streams today. It's going to be solid. Okay, I have the sheets for every single player right here. This is their projection, my projection model. And then I have the fantasy point per minute plus in the Discord. You'll see their what I have the projection with the differential. You just go to CaptainCrush.net. You scroll down. It's right here, the gold package. It's linked via Dub Club. They're the host of my service I provide. You click the gold package. Subscribe now. You can get in 1 month, $24.99. You'll get access to my slips, the playlist, my community Discord chat, the live streams, my projection sheets, my fantasy point model, all of it. I give it to you guys in one big package. Put a bow on it, and I hope to see you guys there. But do me a favor, when you join up, make sure you introduce yourself to Old Crush so I can see who you are. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of you guys join in and then you never say anything, and then if you leave, I never get to build a rapport with you, and you're just like, oh, Crush don't care. But guys, introduce yourself to Old Crush. I'm here. I want to meet you, man. I want to virtually shake your paw, as long as you're not somebody that's gonna stab me in the back like somebody recently just did. But we got rid of that situation, didn't we, chat? Now there's one more person that I want to talk about before I get out of here. Denny Avija. Man, if I could tell you that Denny Avija was gonna go yard, I would, but I can't tell you that because it's a tough spot. I know I want to have exposure. Pause. I just don't know what I want to be exposed to, because I don't like Orlando at all, man. Like, Orlando is tough. They're tough. But he just does so much. His fantasy score, look at these range of outcomes. 7 of 10. We're looking for range of outcome. Floor, 21. Ceiling, 42. His line's going to be crispy at a whatever it is, 31.5. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with him yet, but I did want to put it on your radar. You guys should be looking at it for something. I'm not sure yet, but there is something that we should attack. Same thing with the Miami Heat game, okay? Tyler Hero's back in the mix. We know guards cook the Bucks. We may have to go here. Again, it's something I'm not sure about. I'm going to think it over, but definitely have exposure to, and look, they're bumping lines as I'm doing this. For the guy that says, Cap, can you get these out earlier? I'm working on it. It's a process. I'm getting these out as fast as I can right now, because I still have to do those projection sheets and everything every single day for my Discord, guys. That stuff takes time. I cover for them first, then I come on the YouTube, then at night I do the live stream. Okay, I'm in this chair 24/7, but there's a lot of solid plays on here that we could get exposure to. And real quick, Lou Dort, obviously in the mix. Never forget about Lou Dort. But I do want to say this too, guys. A play could be a slam dunk and it could still sell you. Just keep that in mind. And there's a lot of value on unders, okay? There is a lot of value because you get all the implied equity. Blowouts, foul trouble, guys missing their shots. So don't be afraid to attack unders. I personally don't like to cover them on the YouTube as much because it's more fun to sweat overs as a community, but there is value there. It's always going to be the more sharp play. Everyone is just way too optimistic on average. So that is an actual thing. So keep that in mind. Don't be afraid to attack unders. Like I said, that Scottie Barnes thing, you can't be afraid of it. Sometimes it's just the right thing. Real quick, one last thing. If Porzingis plays, they've been fleecing us. You got to take his first half. You got to do it if he plays. If he doesn't play, well, then you can leave it alone, obviously. But his first quarter at 4.5 points as well are both in play, man. This guy is just a wagon of wagons. Either one of those. And with that, I'm out of here. Don't forget, you can get in the Discord, CaptainCrush.net gold package 1 month. We will have that live stream today in roughly 2.5 hours. I hope to see you in the mix. Here's the salute. Good luck in all your contests. And as always, my brothers and sisters in Christ, let's crush.